Oi! Oi, lads! Oi! Oi! Let them carry on! Oi! It's just proving what they are! We are patriots! Right, lads! Everyone listening! It's great to see the snowflakes come out in thousands. They've come out today to say, refugees welcome. I would like to ask you a question. How many would you take in? If you've got refugees welcome, please do us a favour. Stop them putting our hotels. Put them in your houses. Right, I've got another spokesman just turned up from London. I don't know if you know him, his name is Alan Merritt. I didn't know Alan was coming. Alan's a very good friend of mine. Known him for the last 2 days. Now, I've known Alan for a long time. And he will speak about what he's going to talk about. We've got 3 speakers here. All right? And with Simon Bean coming on, they might shout out baby killers. That's what the left should be shouting out. You can guarantee it. But this man is a legend. He's a true warrior. This man has fought for our country. He's fought all our lands. And it wasn't like the likes of Simon coming out tonight and today to speak on behalf of the veterans. I'll let you know a little bit about Simon. I've known Simon about 6 or 7 years, might be longer, and he's always come out and he's always spoke the truth. I'll let you know a bit. Simon served in Germany. He served in Northern Ireland. He done the first Gulf War in Iraq, Saudi and Kuwait. He done the second Gulf War in Iraq. He's also served in Bosnia. And also, it's a privilege, he met the Queen. The Queen gave him an MBE for the servants he's done for our country. Well, like I say, I respect everyone, please cheer for our veteran, Simon Bean.
Let's go. Ladies, gentlemen, children, good afternoon. And thank you for inviting me here today. My name is Simon Bean. I'm also known as the Maverick Veteran on social media. I joined the British Army in 1983 and served a little over 22 and a half years and had the privilege of standing alongside quality people of both sexes from all 3 services. When I swore the oath of allegiance, I was young, impressionable, and truly believed that I would be valued forever by the establishment. Yeah, right. The government of the day, headed by Margaret Thatcher, ensured I was well trained, well motivated, well fed, and well paid. I followed orders without question, provided a service to Her Majesty the Queen and my country. This continued until late on in my career, when I began to have doubts about the righteousness of what servicemen and women were being asked to do by subsequent governments. A man called Tony Blair had something to do with my new attitude. In 2005, just 7 months after my second tour in the Middle East, my time was up. I was 41 years of age and all I knew was soldiering. The tens of thousands of us that serve are highly trained, disciplined, motivated individuals. We are expected to be self-sufficient, professional and educated in military doctrine. But at some point, our shelf life expires and we're discarded in the civvy street. The nightmare now begins. Nobody at any point trained us how to be a civilian. Overnight, you become a veteran with the same mentality that was installed into you as a soldier. We face issues that we've never encountered, and you begin to question yourself. Where do I go for advice? Who do I ask? Should I ask? I'm trained to be self-sufficient, so I should know. Veterans are proud, maybe too proud to ask. We muddle through, we make mistakes. Some of us lash out against individuals and the establishment. And this often leads to a meeting with a judge, a criminal record, broken relationships, mental health issues, suicide and homelessness. The UK has an estimated 300,000 homeless on the streets, and an estimated 6% or 18,000 of those are veterans. However, we know that figure is inaccurate, as it's based on veterans rough sleeping on the streets. It doesn't take into account veterans sleeping in cars, sofa surfing, or those that prefer to sleep out of sight in the woods, the forests and the mountain regions of the United Kingdom. What grips my shit is last year 45,755 illegals arrived in small boats and were fully briefed on their entitlements. They didn't need to ask. They continue to be told where to obtain assistance, who to ask for that assistance, and are given hotel accommodation costing at least £8 million per day at capitation rate, which is completely funded by the British taxpayer. They receive 3 square meals each day, pocket money and a phone, and they have the balls to complain about small bathrooms, shared bedrooms and poor Wi-Fi. These hotels should be open for tourism to enable visitors to this beautiful county to enjoy what it has to offer. In my personal opinion, the only cross-channel migrants we should see here in Norfolk are the migrating birds as they stop off for a rest. The government has decided that asylum seekers should now be placed in underused military airfields, such as the Wethersfield airfield in Essex and RAF Scampton in Lincolnshire. This is an outrageous policy when those locations are steeped in history that won't be appreciated by the asylum-seeking darlings, all men of war-fighting age. It's known that military airfields are located in isolated countryside areas that are flat, sometimes close to small villages with small populations of local people. How are these people expected to feel safe when they are outnumbered by an invasion of foreign men camped out on their doorstep? Give the RAF accommodation to homeless veterans. They will respect it. They will look after it. They will appreciate their history. And above all, will respect, assist and add value to the local community. As a concerned parent and granddad, I fear for our children. It's a cliche, but the children are our future. As a parent, you must covet them. As a grandparent, you must covet them. And together, we must protect them night and day from the usual threats, in addition to woke government policy and the ideologies travelling here in the heads of the illegals. In summary, I've done my time and I swore my allegiance to the late Her Majesty the Queen, her heirs and successors, and nothing can change that fact. However, my time served, coupled with what I know now, and my experience gained as an adult, has placed me in a position where I can make an additional short and sweet allegiance to the great people of this great nation. For as long as I have breath in my body, I will stand, fight and protect the great people of this nation and continue to speak out against the tyranny planned and carried out by the corrupt collective of parliamentarians housed within the Palace of Westminster, for they are the true enemy within. Be safe. I love you. Thank you for your continued support and for being here today.
Well, what a speech. What a speech from Simon. I think that wasn't a good enough clap. All right, Simon's come down here from Southampton to speak for us today, to let us know what he's been through. Everyone give him a cheer. Hit it! Hit it! Hit it! Yeah, everyone wants to shake your hand, Simon. If anyone wants all your autographs, please give me a tenner. I can earn some money out of this. Is there any women that are single? Simon's looking for a lovely lady who's single.
That's
right.
true. It is true.
They keep going on about refugees welcome, as we keep saying, don't bite to them. At the end of the day, they've got to put them in their houses. The more we keep saying, these are not refugees. Why have they got it on their banner? Migrants welcome. Right, they're lying. They're lying. We've got a couple more speakers, right? Before Andy comes on, we've got a bloke from London. As I said, I didn't know he was coming. He's going to tell a few stories, all right? He's done every demonstration all round the country. I see him in London, I see him at Liverpool, I see him in Manchester. I do not know how he can keep going. I've stopped. But after seeing what today, I'm coming back on the streets with active patriots, right, East Anglian patriots, to go round your communities all over the country against migrants. Give a round of applause to Mr. Alan Merritt from London.
Good man.
Guys, it's very hard for me to stand here as a child abuse survivor. All my family were abused in state welfare. The police that stand amongst us today, we're not saying they're all bad, but they're complicit along with our politicians and what they've done to this country. We don't look after our own, we don't look after our elderly, we don't look after our veterans, we do not look after our children. At 6 years of age, I'd already spent 5 different children's homes, in 5 different children's homes from 0 to 6 years of age. The system, a judge looking down at a little boy of 6 years of age, would you like to go to the seaside, sonny boy? This little boy hadn't been to the seaside. He was brought up in council estates in London. This little boy, seaside, let me go to the seaside. I suffered 11 years of historic, physical, mental and sexual abuse. If you've never been in that kind of a position, you can't judge anybody. What I will say to you, 1 in every 10 children is abused or raped in this country. 1 in every 10. The amount of children that abuse this country is horrific. Our politicians, I call Westminster West Monster, because the monsters that are involved in it are politicians. 150,000 indecent images were seen on electronic devices, laptops and computers in the Palace of Westminster. All my family, 2 sisters and another brother, were abused in Beach Home. Historic sex abuse. I've been in a Home Office, I've been in Parliament, I've been to see various, before the barriers went up at Downing Street, we put a report into Theresa May. But if you look at our politicians right across the board, if you stem my life for 60 years, what have our politicians done for their own people apart from line their own pockets? They do nothing. They are not fit for purpose. The police come to me at 60 years of age and said a report has been coming about, and we're opening a police investigation called Operation Brockhurst. There's so many inquiries into sexual abuse. What actually happens to these inquiries? The police end up dropping these inquiries, taking no further. All they're doing is finding out who's involved, what's involved, and what politicians involved. And they're all involved. A lot of them. I cabbed in London. I know Dolphin Square. I know the Elms Guest House. I knew Kustok, she was in my cab. I knew Prince Andrew. Melanie Shaw went to a basement flat in Belgravia. She see what was going on, she knew what was going on. She remembered diplomatic number plates. She had a photographic ID. She could remember Prince Andrew's 15-digit credit card. That's how clever that woman's on. She went for a kangaroo court in front of Theresa May, the same woman that took the Beach Home survivors' interim report, and they locked her up in Style Prison and in Rampton. And we done a big demonstration outside Rampton where I first spoke. And look at Melanie Shaw today. Look what's happened to the people that have been abused. They never ever get remedy. These people are getting hotels, they're getting fed. They're not asylum seekers, right? They're not refugees, as we would say. If they are genuine refugees, this country could help them. But we do not look after our own people. Our elderly, our veterans and our children should always come first. That's all I've got to say, guys. Thank you very much for letting me speak.
Well done, Alan.
Yeah, as I say, you know, he's right what he's saying. Back to politics again, isn't it? It's all about one thing, isn't it? Our government. It's our government stinks. Okay? They're not there, they're just liars. Anyway, before we go on, all right, I'm glad you're still listening, not looking down to the snowflakes. I'm glad you listen to us. There's people across the road still listen to us. We've got one last speaker, but we will be staying here for an extra 10 minutes. Okay? All right? We won't be going straight away, but this man's come up from Leeds. Again. Right? Yorkshire. Leeds. Right? He drove this morning at 6 o'clock in the morning on the phone, spoke to him yesterday. All right? But there's one person before he goes on, I don't know if you know, Andy Wren. Andy Wren organised this today, and he put this on me in the last week. I know Andy Wren really well. The police went round his house Thursday night, knowing the fact that he was going to do a demonstration here today, and they arrested him Friday morning and said to him, "You've got 3 months, you're not allowed on the Bowthorpe. You cannot speak, you cannot do nothing." So Andy stepped by his word, but I want to give everyone a round of applause for Andy, because if it weren't for Andy, we wouldn't have been here today. He's a patriot for years. Thank you very much, Andy. Yeah, we've got Alec Dobre, one of our last speakers, coming on now. He's come from Leeds. Can you give this man a big welcome, please, into Norfolk? Thank you, Alec.
Cool. Every generation in this country has faced some kind of enemy. Even if you look back 1,000 years, this island was not one of cowardice and submission. Every generation had its suffering and faced its own turmoil. Whether it was an enemy that organised within our own borders, or whether it was an enemy that organised at the behest of a foreign power, every generation has faced its trial. Today, we face another trial as the first generation of this millennium. And we are confronted with an enemy that is perhaps more insidious than any enemy that our people have before faced. Because it is an enemy that through the course of decades and centuries has perfected a modus operandi for the destruction of a country, has tried and tested it in nation after nation across Europe over the last 100 years or more, and now has turned to this country as its next victim. It is an enemy which organises as the ultimate enemy within, whose shock troops are those parasites that live in the house of common thieves, in the palace of the Westminster criminals. When I'm stood here today, I can't help but hear, in that far distance, I can hear the enemies of this country, the Marxists, the communists, the trade unionists. I can hear them say, whose streets? Our streets. But see, there they make a mistake, because these streets do not belong to them. This nation never belonged to them, any more than a human body belongs to a tapeworm, because they are a parasite. They are not the people that have built this nation through years and decades of blood and toil. They are not the people who have built this nation and whose blood is linked to this soil. They are just an endless litany of grifters, thieves and parasites whose only objective is to rape and pillage this country for everything they can put into their own bottomless pockets. The enemy today, whilst at face value you may believe that the enemy is a foreigner, the real enemy in this country is the enemy within. The real enemy in this country is a cartel of parties, each their own gang, fighting against each other for influence. But whenever they see any threat from their own people, they immediately turn their forces on the people of this nation. Their only objective is to carry out the next step in that modus operandi that they have perfected. But what is this method? If you want to destroy a country and to destroy a nation and a race of people, how do you do it? First, you do it by destroying a people politically. You implement such changes as you desire in order to render the most productive people in society as powerless as you can, turning them into nothing more than slaves to furnish the agenda of the worthless and the greedy. Secondly, if you wish to destroy a nation, you destroy a people culturally. You turn all those things which are linked to their heritage and you corrupt and contaminate them with anything alien, anything insipid, anything you can find that will eat away at it like a disease eating away at the human brain. Thus, through this relentless drive for endless immigration, endless internationalism, endless handing over of power to as many foreign sources as possible, this nation has been attacked and desecrated culturally. But the final attack, the final weapon of these parasites is to destroy a nation's morale. Everything in the last 20, 30, 40 years has been designed to destroy the morale of our people. Whether it's through the endless using of genuine workers' money to finance the likes of the grifters of the unions, to proclaim themselves arbiters for the working man, whether it's through the endless persecution and vilification of any person who dares to challenge this agenda, or whether it is through the endless and relentless propaganda designed to do nothing more than drive our people into an endless fit of despair. This nation has been attacked in its morale, and the consequences have been terrible. We arrive now at a position which is unlike any faced by anyone alive today. We arrive at a position where our people still possess that inner strength that they always have to overcome this enemy and to unify as a people. They have only forgotten what this inner strength is, and it's because of this relentless attack on our morale. Through my own experiences, I can think back to, compared to Simon Bean, I can think back to my own short time in the army. And I can think back to how I've seen ordinary British people achieve things that they themselves did not believe they were capable of. And they did it because they were able to realise what had been taken away. They were able to realise that which they had forgotten. They were able to understand that not as individuals, no, as individuals, they were nothing. But when they put themselves as a people, as a group, then they realised what they could accomplish. They stood and faced their enemies and triumphed over their enemies. Just as our people can once again triumph over this enemy within by understanding that one person, one single person, is like a leaf on a tree, is a grain of sand on a beach. In the grand scheme of nations and people, it is the nation that matters. It is the national solution that matters. Our people have everything they need when they understand that their strength comes from themselves as one people with one shared destiny and one heritage that links them to this land of their fathers. The time is going to come soon when all those people who for their entire years have spoken nothing but lies and deceit are going to be silenced, never to speak again. And when this happens, when the spirit of Albion is reborn, then Britannia will rise again from the grave. And then there will be only one voice in this land and one chorus, and it will be the voice of an entire people driven to rage and driven to have that satisfaction which has been denied to them by their enemies and the parasites for so long. And in one chorus it will proclaim only this: I am Britannia, vengeance is mine. Before I finish, I want to take a moment to talk about something and some things that are going to happen over coming weeks and coming months. Because as you heard from Glenn at the very beginning, the only thing that's going to work is a campaign of solidarity. We must work together or fail. Over coming weeks and coming months, there are events like this up and down the country. The next one is in Lincoln next weekend on the 8th of July, where myself and a few others are organising opposition to the plans for RAF Scampton, a sacred place that is being desecrated by the betrayal of government policy. There will no doubt be other things to follow. But if there's one thing that you have to think, and please remember when you walk away from here, remember who you are. You are not dust. You are not garbage. You are British people, and British people united are indestructible.
Hold on, Alec.
Oh, did this go around?
Yeah.
I didn't know it sounded.
He's got some precedent.
Oh, I see.
Right. Right, what it is, I just spoke to one of the blokes over the road who's on the community. He lives round the corner. His kids go to a school over the back. And he's telling me is that them children are now got to walk further away from this place because they're being harassed. Phone numbers, putting condoms on, asking young girls to have sex with them. And this is happening from that hotel. It's my opinion, a bloke is over there who's not willing to talk because he's frightened in case his children get hurt. What are the police doing? Nothing. What I'm going to tell you to do now, as a community, I don't care what the police say, we are coming on the streets, we are going down them subways, and we will serve it, we will stay there until our kids come home from school. If the police are not doing it, us as a public have got to do it. We've got to defend our children. So from now on, from today, I will get the families of men around these areas to make sure our children are safe. If the migrants go after our young girls, we will do a citizen's arrest properly so they can get arrested. Because I want to know, I've got a gentleman here today who's not willing to talk. He lives just round the corner. Why is there, that's only one person, just think, one person, who has seen police cars been over here on 10 occasions. Where is that put in the paper? What are they there for? Are the police there to have a cup of coffee with them? No, they're doing crime. They must be doing crime for the police to go on there. I don't know if you read again on the Crime Watch one. Is that a migrant? What he went and done? He done something. He got arrested. And all of a sudden, he gets de-arrested because he's a migrant. They made him leave that hotel and put him in another one instead of arresting him. So what we want to do now, as patriots, on our streets, women, grown people, to be on our streets, to guard that school. We'll be down there every single day, down the subways every single day till 9 o'clock at night. 9 o'clock in the morning till 9 o'clock at night. If I could do it, I will do that every single day. If it means I do it on my own. But I need help. And I want this community to please back me. Because if it don't stop, one of our children are going to be sexually assaulted. That's right. It's got a young lady here. We are afraid.
This country, they see things very differently. You see, like what, you know, in my country, like this.
You're right. Because when they come to this country, they don't know the laws. They think that's brilliant.
They think differently.
Yeah, because they're in back to the dark ages, right? They're just going back to the medieval days, right? But that's the people we've got. So who's gonna? You ain't got to say it now. I'll be going on Facebook, but please, Cossey and Bowthorpe and Larkman, right? And people around this area, right? I will do 5, 6 people a night who can guard this area for our children. Who's willing to help me out? No one? If I do it on my own. Who's willing to come with me to stand on our streets to make sure our school children are safe? Yeah, thank you. If you look at my Facebook, I am going to leave that and I'm really going to push this. And also, my next step is, we are going to go to Asda on the next one. Don't know where it's going to be. Then we're going to go to Lakenham, all right, because where they are there, all right? And then, what I've asked the police officers, and they've said they would do it, I'm going to ask for a community place where we can meet, where we can hold the floor. I want the council there. I want the police there. I want the top policeman there. And I want you people on the floors to ask the police and the council questions. That's all I'm asking for. The council have got to answer our community. What are they doing to stop this? That's my next step. But all together, we've got people travelled, paid petrol money, who's come from Leeds, who's come from Wales, who's come from Colchester, Cambridge. Petrol money that's come out of your pockets. The snowflakes have come and they've laid buses on. It never come out of their pockets. They get told to go on. You ain't got to pay no money. Everything is free. And that's why I take my hat off to you, every single one of you, for paying your money at your expenses to come here and support the Bowthorpe and Cossey community. I take my hat off to you. Thank you very much.